enough AP damage with the Rakan and the Jax, but normally we see Rakans go for a more tank style, so we have to see maybe what the picks are going to be. But I would love to see like maybe a Gwen and a Lilia ban here. Could be very, very good for Fine Dog to try and pinch that pull even more.
Yeah, interesting ban here. Obviously, the Jarvan, maybe they feel like they're trying to get that sort of like single target lockdown potential here onto the side of Fine Dog, and then obviously the Hecarim also. Hecarim only came through once entire of yesterday, which was obviously it was neither of these teams. Actually, no, it was Fine Dog that got the Hecarim. Obviously, it was paired with the likes of the Severe, so I don't feel like it's not going to come through without those kind of main components. And now that Severe's been taken off the board here, we may not actually even see the Hecarim come through at all. But Lee Sin being banned out here, as well as Shyvana, that jungle champion pool has become much smaller in this last picking phase as well.
Yeah, both teams are deciding to ban out the junglers again. As you mentioned, not too much left. Riven is open though. Riven is still a great choice with a lot of mobility and can be great follow-up with the Rakan and the Jax. Looks like that is going to be the option here for Vapo. Going to see what else they pick here for the final pick. Riven is most likely going to be played in the jungle, so we have another solo laner still to be picked here for Vapo. But for Fine Dog, they need to round out their comp. They're probably looking at a jungler and a support. Singed, we did see this yesterday, but it didn't really feel that effective, to be honest with you. It kind of felt okay with how Singed was going, but yeah, it didn't really feel that strong. I believe, was it Fine Dog yesterday that played it, or was it Vapo? Yeah,
it was Fine Dog,
and it just didn't feel that effective yesterday. So we're going to see if it can work in this game. I don't feel too confident about it, but maybe they, maybe just doesn't feel comfortable. Doesn't feel too comfortable on the other champions.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be really interesting. Obviously, they did play the Renekton with the Singe yesterday, so whether they decide to lock that in again once more, but if they do lock that in, obviously it's going to be Renekton up to the top side of the map potentially, obviously into 1-4-1-4, then obviously Fake Apo potentially onto the Akali here, and then obviously Nakamaru might be on the Wukong as well, so Wukong into the jungle, and obviously Varus into the duo lane with the Singed. So very interesting comparing Singed. Like you say, it's not the best support that's available still, but hey, maybe they're going to cook something up right. I mean, try and just launch. I mean, who are they going to launch? Who are they really going to try and get locked down? It's got to be the Severe, right? Obviously, very squishy. Kind of try and get that ultimate off before it even activates. But you're not going to launch Swain into your back line, are you really? So
there's not really a lot of champions to launch, to be honest. I mean, I think this Swain pick as well is such a clever pick for Vapo. You have Renekton, Wukong, Singed, Akali, all of these frontline champions, which are going to be, very, very powerful. And, with Swain, you can just stand there with your ultimate and just drain all of the health, drain all their damage, and also heal a bunch at the same time. And I think it's a great pick because even the Varus is going to have a difficult time to try and break through the Swain. You have the crowd control there that can try and lock the Swain down, but as I mentioned, with the amount of healing and sustained damage that you have for Swain, it's going to be very, very difficult to deal with. So it's very, very nice.
Yeah, very nice. Obviously, the Swain is a nice part on how to round out that comp there. It gives them a little bit more of that AP damage. They don't really have to rely on the Rakan build in the AP. He can just go full tank and just kind of use the swiftness, his ultimate, to try and just like round up, use that as a CC. But the Riven, like he was talking about, has been one of those junglers that's really kind of like caught us off a little bit here within the showdown. It's again just one of those kind of very aggressive, trying to get into the team fights very early on, especially with the CC, trying to just kind of make the waves before the rest of your team come through. It has been, I believe, very fruitful for the showdown this far, because the first time that was played yesterday was International Jobcenter, with pairing it with obviously the Rumble, the Ornn as well. Obviously, two great engages there already, and that came out on top as well. And then the next time we saw the Riven come through, did we see it in the series number 2? I don't think we did. No, so it was actually only played once yesterday. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I feel like I remember I'd seen it at least once yesterday.
Yeah.
I believe it was Final Wax as well, if I'm not mistaken, who played it yesterday. I believe Final Wax played it.
No, it was International Jobcenter, wasn't it? So who's their jungle now?
Oh, flip already, level 1. Singed going on through with the after shot with the flip. Doesn't really do anything at level 1. Maybe it wasn't Final Wax. I thought it was Final Wax. Oh no, it was Snorlax. No, I remember now. Yep, you're right. It was Snorlax. Snorlax is a jungler for International Jobcenter. Yeah, that is right.
Exactly. But no, this is Fine Dog and Vapo. They don't have Snorlax on their team, so we'll see how this goes. Let's see how Queenie can try and live up to Snorlax's Riven from yesterday. It had great potential for the side of International Jobcenter. Can it hold the same for Vapo? Because right now, they are down a point in the overall best of 5 markings. But right now, getting a bit of tip up at the top side of the map. Faker, Apo looking pretty low, but the Jax is also, neither of them committing their Ignite just yet.
A few trades here to try and get an early advantage. You can see the Carly can definitely trade against the Jax early on, and can be pretty difficult for the Jax to kind of lock down again, because you know the Carly is just so slippery. Oh, looks like they're gonna try and get a kill here onto the Varus. Varus forced out to use the cleanse to cleanse away the ignite damage. But you're seeing that once Severe gets level 3, Singed, if he runs in and tries to use the flip, guess what? Severe can just press her third ability. She can just press her spell shield, and there is nothing that the Singe can do. That was the exact example that happened right there. Singe tried to walk forward, flip the Severe back, but they couldn't get her.
Couldn't get it, but will they be able to get Faker Apo here? It is going to be a potential 3v1 dive here. We do see Queenie and Susanoo actually backed off already. Trying to crash the minion wave in is going to be the Jax as well. Jax going for the Scorpion to try and get a bit more pressure into the top side of the map here. Faker Apo, he's able to dodge and miss the counter-strike as well, which could have been definitely fatal for the side of Fine Dog there, because obviously you also have the knock-up of the Grand Entrance, the Hero's Entrance from the Rakan as well. So they have plenty of CC to try and catch out Faker Apo, but played it very well and danced around it.
Yeah. I think they were kind of predicting the flash to come through there from the Akali, or at least some sort of extra disengage to come through. Maybe predicting that the third ability would try and be used to disengage, but no, it was very well played there from, as you said, Faker Apo to try and, you know, stop the engage and kind of I guess predict in a way that they were predicting. It becomes like a who's gonna jump first, like who's gonna be baited first. You know, are you gonna predict my flash, or am I not gonna flash? Come mind games in the end, which is what I love.
Yeah, a little bit of trying to mirror what your opponent's doing, but right now it's working for both of these teams. No one's actually gone down just yet, but that could be changed here. The counter-strike does come through onto Faker Apo. Susanoo is actually almost catching out Faker Apo once again. How many times is this guy going to cheat death? I'm not too sure, but right now it's working for him, so they continue doing it. We do see a rotation top side of the map as well. Singe as well as the Swain going through. Can they get a kill onto Vapo for now? I mean, we're still looking at this snooze fest down to the bot side of the map, and something's going on up here, and they aren't able to claim anybody just yet. So still, these invades are not as successful as either of these teams are wanting.
A lot of pressure is going up to the top side in this game, you know, trying to shut down this Akali to try and make sure that she doesn't scale, but it's going to be actually on the opposite side this time. And Renekton, buddy, where are you going? You're going on the opposite side of the map. I mean, they're not going to be able to do anything to they're just going to give the kill over to Severe. That's a really good pick as well. Varus even might get caught out here as well. It has to flash away and dash away as well. Actually misses the piercing arrow onto the Swain. Swain lives as well. 4 members down in the bot lane, but it's only 1 kill for the side of Vapo, but still very nice catch there onto Renekton, and he still nearly got more after that as well. So really well played here by Vapo to catch out on some of the mispositioning there for Fine Dog.
Yeah, Faker Apo wasn't quite happy the fact that they were the victim of obviously first blood there, trying to get Queenie into that brush, but Queenie was just like, nah, I'm not faking this one. But there is going to be a bigger invade coming through as well. 3v1 dive in, and Queenie is not going to be alive for that one for much longer, but actually traded with Nakamura, so that's probably the best outcome for Fine Dog and Vapo that they could really hope for in that bot side of the map. But it's still pressure being put on all 3 lanes. Susanoo into the back line there, trying to get a catch onto Faker Apo. The root come through, but there's just not enough damage. The ultimate does come through. The flash as well. The barrier. Could it be enough? Oh!
No!
Faker Apo stays alive. He's got BGs in his ears.
How has Akali stayed alive this whole game? He's been dove, he's been ganked so many times this game, and he still keeps himself alive. And to be honest, he's doing pretty good work in terms of the gold as well. So you can see that the, you know, Vapo are trying so hard to try and shut down this Akali, realizing that this Akali pick can be the main carry here for FindDog, but not being able to take this Akali down has been pretty much a disaster so far for Vapo, and has been the most annoyance really this game so far, to make sure that they can try and shut down this Akali, but in the end can't do anything. The quickness coming through in the mid lane, they're trying to take down the Varus. Varus has no health, no mana, misses the chain of corruption, but does survive by taking the honey through. And meanwhile, the, you know, the tower is going to be trying taken down here in the mid lane with the Rift Herald.
Yeah, again, always been put down into the mid lane. Obviously getting those shield platings that are still up. That extra bit of gold going up to Vapo right now. They are 1k ahead for now, but is FindDog going to be able to try and find a way in to stop that gold lead getting further out of their grasp? But for now, it definitely seems to be just kind of like constant rotations. The flip coming here from the Singe as well into the back line is going to be the Jax forcing the flash out. Nakaruru goes in with the Soul Clone once more. Oh, takedown for the side of FindDog again. Can they get Queenie? Oh, double kill as well.
Yeah, double kill for Nakarumu there. Really nice play there onto the Jax and really capitalizing. Singed actually working out pretty well there, using his pool just behind him and making sure that he can flip the champions into the pool to try and get that extra bit of damage. Akali having a pretty difficult time against this Swain. Again, as I mentioned, as soon as you use that ultimate, if Akali is around you, you're just going to be healing and dealing a bunch of damage. But unfortunately with Swain not having any items just yet, doesn't mean that he's going to be able to deal a lot of damage. But look at the pressure again into the bot side. The Severe, the Rakan moving down into the bot side again, having that mid lane priority, moving down towards the Akali, trying to shut this Akali down, but there's nothing they can do at the moment. Nakamura ahead in this jungle at the moment, but only by 100 gold. Both these junglers are going to be key when it comes to these team fights with how much gold they have.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen it so far, right? They've already traded, like, their lives, like, 1-for-1 in, like, one certain situation down to the bot side of the map. And we're probably going to see that more times as well, because they're definitely, obviously, very neck and neck within the gold lead as well between themselves. But FindDog actually finding a nice little opening here onto the side of Vapo into the top side of the map, puts a lot of pressure on. They get the first turret as well, which is going to be pretty huge for them, considering Vapo had the Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, Vapo were the ones that used the Rift Herald in the mid lane, but unfortunately not breaking that tower is a little bit unlucky there. But the big thing here is that even though the Akali is actually winning the trades and or at least being even with the trades in bot lane here to the Swain is getting a lot of stacks for his passive. He's landing a lot of his abilities and he's gaining a lot of stacks with the extra abilities that he's been able to hit. Renekton here is going to get tower dove, but he is surviving for quite a long time, and he's going to survive the tower dive. And both the solo lanes at the moment for FindDog are surviving on the skin of their teeth every time. Akali has been tower dove multiple times and ganked. The same with the Renekton as well, and both of them have survived, and Vapo have not been able to find the advantages that they wanted in these side lanes, and that could come back to bite them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, up to the top side of the map, but like you were saying there, Faker Vapo as well as the Renekton have failed to fall from the side of Vapo as well, no matter how many kind of like dives they've gone for, whether it be a 2v1, 3v1. They've just come out on top, so clearly the blue T1 up into the top side of the map has got a little bit of a buff here for the side of FindDog, or at least a little bit of a Hail Mary. But Vapo are definitely trying to keep this gold lead still within range of a comeback, right? Because all it needs is one good team fight. They're back out on top, or even potentially ahead by quite a bit of gold at that point. But the next neutral objective is going to be up. It is going to be the Infernal Drake, but we are going to get a bit more of a push here. So the side of Vapo don't have that T1 to go back into, flip. But now Singe flip into the back line. It's going to be the Rakan, but he can use the Link out alive for now. Susanoo stays alive again.
And then meanwhile, they're trying to gank onto this Akali again, but can she survive again? She uses her shroud. She uses, look how difficult she is to kill. She's just moving around her shroud, trying to survive. She actually dashes back in. She nearly gets the kill. Swain has to flash forward. The drain is coming off through the barrier bait on either side. She kills the Severe. She survives 1 versus 3. She actually survives. She jumps back and kills the Swain. Can Queenie finish off the kill? I don't know if Queenie can. And Faker Vapo has been performing flawlessly on this Akali. Jumping back in. Queenie flashes. The Singed is here as well. Ghost comes on through. Here comes the poison. The flip guarantees the kill. And this Akali is complete 1v9 right now.
Oh, wow. Honestly, the fact that how, like, methodical the movements were on Fake Apo at that bot side of the map, he survives a 3v1. He's able to just shroud for the first part of it. Then Tung Tung Sahur gets hit by the turret as well. So it clearly looked like it was a 1v3, but it was a 2v3.
Incredible performance so far by the Akali. 1-0-3. If you think of how many times he's been ganked this game, I would say probably 5 or 6 times. He just survived a 1 versus 3 tower dive underneath his tower, using the shroud, using the invisibility, using the mobility as well that he has. They're going to go for another gank here onto the bot side. They do trade 1 for 1, but I don't think they're going to be able to kill the Akali. Akali gets another kill. 2-0-3 at the moment on this Akali. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Jax is not really doing too well in this 1 versus 1. Jax only having 1 item at the moment means that it becomes a very difficult time, but in the bot side, it is a 2 for 2 trade, but Fine Dog at the moment still has that little bit of a gold lead, currently 3,000.
Really 3,000, but they obviously also have the priority in the lane as well, right? Obviously, they still have their T1 into the mid lane intact. Their top side of the map actually looks very healthy compared to the side of Vapo's as well. Obviously, all the way their inhibitor is going to be a bit of an issue, especially that being the side of the map where the Baron Nashor spawns as well. That's going to be a lot of pressure for Vapo to be facing against not only the team fights that have been going in favor of Fine Dog for now, but also the fact they're going to have to make sure that they wave priority and the wave privilege for the side of Vapo is intact when the Baron Nashor comes up and if they decide to go for it.
And Baron buffer is up, as you mentioned. Both teams hovering around the Baron at the moment. Don't think no team is going to start it just yet because it's way too risky, as every single person on the map has stayed alive. Looking at items right now, nothing really too crazy in terms of the items. Most champions outside of the supports have 2 items completed already. Just the Renekton we're waiting on now to see if there's 2 items as well. So it really comes down now to these 2 item power spikes and who's going to be stronger. You know, the Akali with the Rift Maker and the Death Cap completed right now. Definitely a very expensive build for this Akali, but she has the gold from getting kills in that 1 versus 3 in the bot side. Now she's even looking for a flank. She's looking to try and wait in the woods here, wait in the mist. The Riven actually dives onto the Akali, I think, in the end there. The Rakan gets the charm. There's a triple root from the Swain, and he's going to do a lot of AoE damage, but the Akali execution with the ultimate is enough to take down the Rakan. Unfortunately, the Rakan doesn't have any magic resist at the moment, so this Akali is going to absolutely shred. Meanwhile, Jax actually might be still nearly survived in a 1 versus 3 there, but the flipper rule again from the Singed. Having a bit of an easier time this game with the Singe, but Varus walking up a bit too far in the mid lane. Big mistake here from the Varus walking up way too far and getting caught out there by the Swain route. Bit of a mistake there from the Varus, but overall 1 for 1 trade, sorry, I should say, for Vapo, or really a 2 for 1 extended trade with the Rakan going down.
Yeah, overall, obviously, it's been very good for Fine Dog. Like you said, the Singe is definitely paying a lot more dividends this time around as well. We saw that, obviously, Singe threw one of the side of Vapo into the snipe shot of the Varus, and it just meant that you're just kind of serving up hot meals for Varus, and it's showing within the gold resources as well, right? I mean, he was about a 1k lead ahead, but the fact that he went down, it's given Tung Tung Sahur just the right amount of time to sort of neutralize that gold lead and put it into his own favor by about 200 gold. So definitely not what they really wanted to do there. A bit of a mistake that they could potentially pay for in this later game as well, that they're punishing the Varus and taking him off of the timer to actually get those resources for himself.
Game's gone a little bit stale at the moment. Nothing really too happening, it feels like, for both the teams. They're both playing a little bit hesitant, a little bit careful here. Actually, Riven might get completely caught out. Unfortunately, the Singe flip actually kind of saved the Riven in the end. I think the Singe just flipped the Riven away to safety, which is a little bit unlucky. I think Singe was trying to flip. Oh, meanwhile, in the mid lane, Swain, oh my god, there's so much movement speed from the Swain. Doesn't get the kill though, unfortunately. Now they might look towards the Baron. This is very, very risky because this Akali is still alive. The Singed is low on HP, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Akali, what are we doing? We're diving all the way into the backline. She actually dodges every single ability and she gets the kill, but she's going to get flashed on in the end. But I think she will take that trade any day of the week. The Wukong's trying to dive in onto the backline. Rakan survives on 1 HP. So does Queenie as well. There's so many members on the side of Vapo here surviving on 1 HP. But the one man who is still alive is that Crocodile and Monkey. The animals in the front line trying to do enough work here for Fine Dog, but it is a win overall for Vapo. That Akali trading 1-for-1 there, probably not the best, you know, thing to do there. You know, diving in 1 versus 4, you can see that he has some moves and he's been performing very well in this game, but trading 1-for-1 when he's this far ahead and he's such a big carry for his team makes it very difficult for the rest of his team to follow up.
Yeah, speaking of making things very difficult, this Severe with obviously the movement speed increase, as well as obviously Jax being able to kind of move very quickly across the rift as well. We could see that Fine Dog were trying to find their way and take that Mountain Drake so they could actually get the Dragon Soul, the Ice Dragon Soul there. But they just really quick with the rotations. They cottoned onto what Nakaruru and 1-4-1-4 were going to try and plan to do, try and take that dragon just on a two basis. But Vapo actually really responded very well there. They get the takedown onto Renekton, which we just missed, unfortunately, but that was a good rotation for Vapo.
Not too sure how the Renekton went down there. Yeah. Completely missed it. Was maybe just getting caught in the bot side, but again, it's an advantage here for Vapo. It's going to be a 4 versus 5. Maybe they turn towards this Baron, but I feel like they're using this Baron as bait at the moment. Riven did pop her ultimate, I think. And so did Sin. So Sin's just going to try and run on through here and try and flip someone. Actually flips the Severe and takes the Severe down. Really nice pick there. The cleanse a little bit too early for the Severe. But Swain on the backline doing so much burst damage. And Vapo are just cleaning up this fight. Really good pick to start things off there for the Singed. But no one is able to shut down this Swain at the moment. And now Wukong is going to go down as well. That's the jungler dead. Vapo cleaning up 3 members on the side. And you can see that 4 versus 5 makes it so difficult for Fine Dog to win that fight. Renekton being caught so early on meant they were at a disadvantage before the fight even started.
Before the fight even started, and right now, I mean, we saw there, obviously, Susanoo kind of like pandering around the top, like the bottom, the exit of the blue buff there for the side of Fine Dog, just to kind of make sure and deny the access into that Baron Nashor camp, which now Vapo have. So this is a very good point for Vapo to take here. They need to make sure they get these enchanted minions and take them to those T1s, especially the one into the mid lane, try and neutralize a little bit of that pressure that Fine Dog created, like, very much like what seems like at least like 8 minutes ago, that top side of the map has been pretty much bare to the inhibitor for quite some time, and they've done nothing with it. And now it's kind of paying off dividends for Vapo, that pressure was never really put on for them.
Yep. Gonna get into another 5 versus 5. Not really enough time really for these players to push with the minions right now. Swain going back to base with that empowered recall, has that death cap finished. 3 items now onto Swain. He is going to be doing a crazy amount of damage. The quickness actually onto Akali, uses a shroud to stay alive for now. There is a lot of damage going down here onto the front line. The stasis has been used by the Jax to keep himself alive, but look at the Swain with the malignance, the burn damage coming on through to the back line. That death cap completed means that he's going to do a crazy amount of damage to the whole entire team now of Fine Dog, and he's the front line that they need. And now it means that they're healthy enough that they can move towards his Elder Dragon and take it without any contest. Vapo look in fine control now. The goal lead is basically even. The goal between the two teams is even, but now with Baron and Elder on the side of Vapo, that's the extra stats that they'll need to try and win this.
Again, I feel like that's like one of the winning conditions that Vapo's had, right? Is the fact that they're able to kind of like make sure that the gold lead's not too far away. We were saying it in the early game that obviously they were just making sure that we're putting in the right steps to make that the gold lead wasn't too far, that they could actually just have a team fight and come back. And that's exactly what they've done here. I mean, 3k gold is still not the biggest lead, but at this point in the game, it's definitely going to pay off dues in their respect. But Right now, we're looking at a bit of a push into the base here. Top side of the map is being pushed by Queenie alone as we get in that top. The bot side being pushed by 4 of the side of Vapo. They are looking to clean this game out for themselves. Getting the point on the board is what they need, but it's going to be a takedown here. Fake Apo is getting Queenie down, so they're already playing at a 4v5 advantage here. They now neutralize it. Nakamura is going down as well. Can they get the Renekton? 1-4 is looking pretty low, and they're trying their best to try to fight it off. Fine Dog right now trying for the saving grace, but it's just not going to be enough. The damage coming through. Faker Apo going down thanks to the Elder Dragon. The quad kill
is that Penta?
Coming through. The Penta for Tung Tung Sahur coming in game 2 for Vapo.
Penta for the Severe right at the end of the fight. The Elder Dragon, the burn damage that was coming on through. Severe was basically not even really in that fight. She was kind of auto-attacking the minions, using the boomerang, using the bounce off of the minions, and it was bouncing all the way onto the backline as well, bouncing onto so many of the enemy champions. And because they had the Elder Drake as well, the burn was coming on through, the burst damage as well. We had a quadra kill in game number 1, stolen away by the Galio, but in game number 2, Vapo with an incredibly good comeback here in game number 2, being able to secure the second game with a pentakill and the Elder Dragon to finish it all off.
Yeah, no, definitely a beautiful turnaround that they needed, right? Obviously, they lost game number 1 for those that have not tuned in just yet.